Okay. Then we start up with like VB scripting. Okay. So today IT industry, if you take like there are so many enhancements were going out, right? Okay. So I'm muting just, okay. So whenever you have questions, just unmute. We can discuss. Okay. So during starting days of your computers, if you take like limited number of computers were there. Okay. So computers, you have to connect means you may be aware of like you will use LANs or WANs. I simply have to say means like networks. Okay. So networks, so during starting days, very less number of computers, and for connecting those computers, networks came into picture. But these days, computers getting huge, right? Getting spreading it too much. So simply I have to say means computers and computer networks growing too much and getting more complex, right? Okay. So system administrators, meanwhile, continue to face more and more challenges, more and more issues. Okay. So today, if you take like most of the computer networks, they were coming up with like even wireless networks. During starting days, people come up with like wired networks. Nowadays, they were come up with like wireless networks as well. Okay. So system administrators, what they have to like network administrators, you can say, okay, was limited to manage a handful of computers, relatively small computer of a small number of user accounts and a few accounts, few applications. Okay. So at that point of time, like they will be using like networks. Okay. So whenever uh, hundreds and thousands of computers, they were connecting through wired or wireless. Okay. So and meanwhile, wireless networks means through remote locations as well, through remote locations as well. Okay. So at the time, here only the concern here is like network administrators, uh, like getting more and more issues. So there, companies, like they have to make their job easy means companies come up with like scripting languages to make system administrators life easy. Okay. So scripting languages they come up with. So in your IT industry, there are so many scripting languages available, like simply I have to say means like computer networks these days growing very fast. So there, during starting days, wired networks people were using. These days, wireless networks were using. So meanwhile, like remote networks also people were handling, right? Their system administrator's job is like creating domains and creating user accounts and providing privileges to them, right? So that is what the system administrators job. Okay. So there, whenever computer networks are growing, their issues are getting more and more. Even hackers or something like that, so many things are getting up, right, in your IT industry. Okay. So to make their job easy, scripting languages comes into picture. There are so many scripting languages available. So those are nothing but like VB script, JavaScript, shell scripting. Okay. Shell scripting, Perl, Python, Ruby, like that, so many scripting languages available. Okay. So all these scripting, before that I will tell you that one there are different types of scripting language available in your IT industry, so I will explain that one. So the when compared to like other programming languages, scripting languages are very easy to use, very easy to maintain, meanwhile like cost effective. Okay, so uh, this is a little bit brief about like VB scripting. So we'll try to see like what are the different types of scripting languages, what are programming languages, and what are scripting languages, and difference between programming languages and scripting languages. And one more important stuff we'll try to see like why we are learning VB scripting, in order to come up with like your automation, how this VB script helpful for you. That's why you are learning VB scripting. Okay, so even that one also we'll try to discuss. So in your automation framework development, or as a automation engineer, in your daily roles and responsibilities, how VB scripting helpful for you, that is what you want to get on. Okay, so what is the role of VB scripting in your automation front, that is also we'll try to discuss. Okay, so VB scripting nothing but like earlier you could have aware of like Visual Basic was there. In Visual Basic there are so many versions, so this VB script is like a subset of Visual Basic 4.0. As I said, like it's very fast, portable. Fast means very quick. Portable means, what do you mean by portable? You come up with scripting in this computer, any another computer you can use very easily. That is what portable means. Okay, so any of the computer you can come up with, and any of the computer you can use the same script without making any modifications. So that is nothing but like portable, lightweight scripting languages. So the scripting languages anybody can use very easily. How? I will tell you a simple example. You may be aware of like C language, right? C programming language. In your IT industry there are so many programming languages available like Java, C, C++, Oracle, Visual Basic, SAP, Oracle Labs, like this. So many technologies were available, right? For developing all these technologies, what is base language, have you aware of? For developing any of the technology, the base language is C. The base primary language is C. Okay, so whatever you learn in your education time, in your studies time, so that is less than 1%, I can say less than 1%. Okay, so you have to learn C language means whole your life itself won't be enough. Meanwhile, who developed C language, he himself may not be perfect 100% in your C language. Okay, so in C language, let us suppose in Gmail application, if we go for okay, so what do you mean? So with the help of C language, any of the application you can come up with. Okay, so very simply I have to tell means, in C language here you are seeing like sign in button. You have to come up with sign in button means how many lines of code you have to come up with? Thousands of lines you have to come up with. But in VB scripting, if you go VB Visual Basic, what you can do is like if you go for like paint, one paint, if I go, so like this, some controls will be there, you want to draw rectangle, what you will do, you just drawing rectangle. But in C language you have to draw this rectangle. How many lines of code you have to come up with? Some thousands of lines of code you have to come up with. Exactly like this. Okay, similarly you have to make color of this one, so you can click on that color, just that it will make it up. Okay, so like one star you have to click it up, just that's it, it will create it up. Like that, if you go for like VB script, one like this component will be there, you can just click on that component and draw wherever you want and what is the size you want, just that's it. How you are creating here like this object, exactly like that you can drag and drop, you can just use reusable components. Okay, So like that you'll be getting up. Okay, so that is the advantage of like Visual Basic or advanced technology. Okay, so like that is lightweight language you can say. Okay, anybody can understand very easily with your scripting languages. Okay, so in programming language means you have to come up with code thousands of lines, but VB scripting means like that one component will be there, you can just reuse that component. But in scripting language, how you can use in scripting language like push button or message box, like this some components predefined commands will be there. With the help of those commands you can use it up. Okay, so that is the advantage of like scripting languages. So scripting languages anybody can learn and understand very easily. Okay, so in scripting in VB scripting, if you take like if you want to get computer name, the command will be like get computer name. Just the command itself tell you like what exactly that command is doing. So that much easy like scripting language. Okay, so QTP supports VB scripting, so that's why we are learning with VB scripting. Okay, so this Visual Basic VB script is like a subset of Visual Basic 4. This is fast, portable, lightweight scripting languages. So this scripting language originally developed by Microsoft. Microsoft supports both client side and server side scripting. Client side means you can say in your computer it will try to execute. Okay, so it is like HTML or UI you can say in your computer front end it will get executed. So that is nothing but like client side scripting and server side scripting as well. Java programming language if you take that one executes in server, but Java scripting if you take it will execute in client side. Okay, so in server side means in Java server will be there, right? You are using web application means some server should be there. In that server it will get execute when you are going for like Java, but Java scripting if you take it will get execute in your computer. Okay, so exactly VB scripting supports both like client side and server side scripting. Okay, so VB scripting also supports like shell scripting, Windows management instrumentation code, and Active Directory service interface. Active Directory service interface. Even these scripting languages also QTP supports. Okay, what is WSH? WSH is nothing but like Windows shell scripting. Windows shell scripting. Okay, C language if you go, C language you have to install in your computer, then you have to come up with code of C language means you have to install some editor like Turbo C. Exactly, WSH is also like okay one host. Okay, this is nothing but like one script host. So there you can come up with one program. Means simply I have to say means this Windows shell scripting provides some host. With the help of that host, developer or you can come up with program. You can come up with program. So simply I have to say means like script host is nothing but a program that provides an environment in which users can execute scripts. Users can execute scripts. Okay, so one more example I can say like VB scripting. If we go VB scripting, normally you don't want to install anything, directly you can use it up. Okay, so you can take like one notepad application. Okay, you can take notepad application, so you can say like notepad. Okay, so what I do is like I'll just tell you set object IE equal to create object Okay, so like this you can open notepad, you can come up with like some code in your VB script, save as like .vbs. I'm saving it in my desktop. So what I'm doing is like VB script sample.vbs. remember, you have to come up with VB script code means that code you have to come up with in some like notepad. You have to open notepad, and while saving you have to give extension like .vbs and click on save button. Okay, once you save like .vbs, see it's giving like yes symbol. Okay, then here you just double click, it will get executed. You just double click here, it will get executed. Okay, so just a second. Okay, now all of my internet explorers closed. All of my internet explorers closed. I'm just double clicking. What will happen? You see your internet explorer opening, right, and Gmail application getting launched. I didn't do anything, just I open notepad, I come up with some code, and I'm using it as a .vbs and execute. It's working fine. How exactly this function work out, I will explain you later. As of now, so this is how you can come up with. Okay, so see here, you are creating one object and visible, you are making true. Navigate now means you have to navigate, right? Like this, the command, if you see, it will give you like brief idea what exactly that command will do. 2-3 times if you read, you can remember very easily. So that is the advantage of like scripting language. Okay, so like that. Okay, so Windows shell scripting is nothing but like some host program you come up with. That program provides an environment where you can come up with your scripting, the code, and where you can edit and execute, compile and execute. So these operations you have to perform in some environment required, right? That is the kind of environment Windows shell scripting it will get provide. Okay, meanwhile WSH, WMI and ADS, these scripting languages are advanced ones of like in VB scripting. Okay, so again, suppose 3 COM objects subtypes you come across like Windows scripting, those are nothing but like WSH shell scripting, Windows network and Windows scripting controller. So the usage of this one I will explain you later. Okay, as of now you can remember this is the stuff. So how you exactly you will get, which kind of situation you will get a chance to use. So okay, I will explain you in later point of time. Okay, then you can go for like WMI. WMI is nothing but like Windows Management Instrumentation Code. Okay, Windows Management Instrumentation Code. So Windows based operations you have to perform. At that point of time you can go for like WMI scripting. Like you have to create an folder. For that folder you have to set privileges, you have to share. Meanwhile you have to set privileges for that folder. At this point of time you can go for like Windows Management Instrumentation Code. Exactly, within your computer, within your network, another computer is on or not, you have to find out. So how can you find out? With the help of WMI. Okay, with the help of WMI you can find out whether that computer is on or not. In another computer, whatever the computer you connected in your network, okay, so in another computer what is the default drive in another computer. So at that time you will get a chance to go for like WMI scripting. Okay, so you want to find out what is the current user logged in for this computer, even you can go for like WMI scripting. Okay, so those kinds of portions you may go for like Windows Management Instrumentation Code. So as we proceed with our course, I will explain in detail where exactly you come up with use of like WMI. As of now, these kinds of operations if you come across in your framework implementation, you may use like WMI scripting. You can remember that is the stuff. Then administrative Directory. ADSI is nothing but like Active Directory Service Interface. Okay, so Active Directory is nothing but like creating folder, deleting folder, and providing folder, something like that, right? Meanwhile, like creating domains, okay, for that domain, adding groups, creating groups, something like that. These kinds of portions you can go for like Active Directory Service Interface. Okay, so Active Directory Service Interface is nothing but like technology that allows you to create custom scripts to administer directories. So that is, directories means are nothing but like your home drive, like C drive, D drive, E drive, F drive are there, right, in your computer. Okay, so your computer, once you join into the organization, your computer have to be accessed means that computer needs to be joined some domain. Okay, so that domain who will create? System administrator. So how they will create? With the help of ADSI. Okay, so here with the help of ADSI, I'm just for awareness purpose I'm saying, and to be frank, in this much detail you don't want to. As a automation tester, very high level you want to get to know, but in detail way you really not require. Just for awareness purpose I'm saying. Okay, so here with the help of create command, what administrators can do is like they can create user accounts and groups, they can create organizational units, okay, and computer accounts, subnets, published printers, and shared folders and shared folders. Okay, so printers within your internet, you can printer will be there in LAN, right, in your organization. So how you have to connect that one from your computer? That one system administrators will provide you the access. Okay, that one how you can perform is like your administrators, how they can provide you access is with the help of ADS. Okay, so with the help of create command, you can create user accounts, groups, organizational units, computer accounts, sites, subnets, printers, meanwhile like shared folders. Okay, then modify. Okay, so specific account number, user account, to your user account one phone number needs to be added, or some number needs to be deleted, or for your account password needs to be reset, disabling computer account. Once you design, your account needs to be disabled, right? So disabling user account, like deleting control of organizational unit. Okay, so as soon as you join into the organization, they may provide you access for different sites, different portions of your organization, different levels. All those one needs to be reset, right? All those privileges whatever they did, they were provided, all those one needs to be disabled. Okay, so those kinds of operations, administrative tasks, with the help of modify command they will provide. Okay, then read. So reading full name of your account. Okay, in your computer if you go, they will give you like some name, how it looks like. Computer properties if you go, so name, where you go, name, computer name is nothing but like that, but full computer name is, this is the full computer name. Okay, so this is full computer name. Okay, so computer name is nothing but like very simple, this is full computer name, like that they can come with it. Okay, so that is nothing but like a reading. Just a second. Okay, so then reading a list of group members, specific group, in that group who all are the team members were there. Okay, so in organizational unit if you take, within that organizational unit which are the team members were there. Okay, and operating system related information from your computer accounts, operating system related information for a specific user, what is the operating system is using right now. These kinds of operations you have to go for means you can go for like read. Deleting objects, so with the help of create, modify, read, which are the operations you are performing. So create, deleting user accounts, get, deleting domains, groups, units, okay, computer accounts, size, anything you want to delete means you can go for like delete. Okay. Okay, so as I said, like these are the different stuff you will come across in your like VB scripting. But why you are learning VB scripting in your automation front, while implementing framework, you may get a chance to use like VB scripting. Okay, so in how it will be really helpful for you in your automation framework development. Okay, during advantages of automation, I could have told you like what is the first advantage of automation? Unattended execution, right? Unattended execution. So you have to come up with unattended execution kind of stuff. So how you can come up is like each and everything you don't touch, each and everything it will be taken care. So it has to take automatically file execution means you have to set up like what do you say, one concept, what do you say, scheduler. You can schedule at a specific point of time, it will get automatically initialized and perform your automation operations, right? So that is what you have to do means that one how you will do with the help of VB scripting, with the help of VB scripting. Okay, so it will get initialize your automation execution. Once execution once initiation done, it will get install whole of your application. While executing it will be reading data from XLS file, right? Okay, so you are implementing very good framework means you will read data from XLS. You have to read data from XLS. How you will read? QTP don't have built-in feature. That one you have to come up with like VBScript functions. You have to read data from XLS means you have to come up with like VBScript functions. If you remember like data driven testing portion, how many ways you can come up with like data driven testing? Through data table, flat files are nothing but like text files, INF files, or XML files, HTML files, or something like that. Okay, so through random number generator, meanwhile and environment variables. So these are the 4 ways you can come up with like your data driven testing. At that time I could have told you like reading data like flat files. Okay, flat files I didn't explain at that point of time. I could have told you during VB scripting I will explain. Okay, here I will explain like how you will make parameterization through Excel. Okay, so I will explain you in VB scripting portion. That kind of stuff you will do with VB scripting only. Okay, meanwhile during recovery scenario I could have told you like you will perform recovery operations like in such a manner whenever you put for net execution any unexpected event occurred, your script may get fail and your automation suite may get stuck. To overcome that unexpected kind of events, you will come up with like recovery scenario. But really recovery scenario means which type of recovery scenario you will be following? Whenever unexpected event occurred, that means like in your QTP whatever the test case is executing, so specific step QTP unable to perform. At that time whatever automation framework will do is it will take screenshot at that point of time how your screen looks like, then save it to somewhere and go for stop that test script, go for next script execution, taking screenshot and stop that test script, go to next step. This kind of events how you can handle? You have to take screenshot means again you have to go for like VB scripting. You have to take screenshot means again you have to go for VB scripting. And while executing it will generate 2 types of reports, summary and in detail. Summary in nothing but like test case 1 pass or fail, test case 2 pass or fail, test case 3 pass or fail. That kind of stuff you have to come up means again you have to use VB scripting. Again in detail kind of report you have to come up with. Okay, like while executing QTP it will give you like your own kind of reports, QTP reports, but real-time clients don't use those reports. What they will do, they will go for like Excel sheets kind of format or text files or something like that. Okay, So this text file kind of XML or Excel file kind format output files like summary and in detail kind of reports want me. Again you have to come up with like VBScript functions. Once whole execution finishes, it will generate summary and in detail kind of report and send out an email to your mailbox, right? Okay, to your mailbox. Qtp don't have built-in feature for sending out an email to your mailbox. Again here you have to come up with like Outlook object. You have to come up with Outlook object and perform your operations. You have to send out an email to which all the team members require. Again here VBScript helpful for you for sending out an email. Meanwhile sometimes object identification issues you may come across so many. At that time I could have told you like there is, if any of the object in your application not identifying by your Qtp tool, or simply you can say like it's creating some problems. It's creating some problems. Okay, so that kind of problems how you can handle. Again one more way of handling is with the help of like VB scripting. With the help of VB scripting. Okay, so one more important stuff you can say like I could have told you so many times. You for Gmail application, let us suppose you are having 10,000 test cases. You were picked up 1,000 test cases to go for automation. Okay, so those 1,000 test cases you have to execute in one computer means, let us suppose it's taking 30 hours. It's taking 30 hours. But night execution means how much time you will get? Only 8 hours. But here your automation shoot is taking 30 hours. So if this is the case, what you will do? You can come up with this kind of approach like you have 5 computers means whole of your scripts copied in server, let us suppose. So what you can do is you can split those 1,000 test cases into 4 or 5, like 200 or 250 one shoot you can split and sorry, and what you can do is you can copy 200 scripts to system 1, another 200 scripts to system 2, another 200 scripts to system 3, system 4, system 5. Like that you can spread from server to multiple computers and you can get execute in those appropriate machines. Once execution done, you have to fetch back the results from there. Okay. So here in this kind of situations, what you have to do? Now you are splitting whatever the scripts you are having into different groups like 4 or 5 and you are copying each group to another computer. You have to copy scripts from this computer to another computer means you have to find out whether that computer is on or not. Okay, if that computer is on, remember while putting for night execution or unattended execution, your computer should not be locked. Your computer should not be locked. If it gets locked, sometimes you may be handling like pop-ups, right? So those pop-ups won't get executed. It will get too many problems during pop-ups. Not only pop-ups, some other operations also it may create problem. So your computer should not get locked while executing your scripts unattendedly. Okay, so you have to make sure in case that computer is on, you have to make sure that computer should not be locked. Okay, that computer should not be locked. You have to find out at that point of time. Okay, before copying you have to make sure that computer is on and it should not be locked. Then if both of them satisfy, then only again one more validation you have to do. If you go for like Windows 2003, that system, that servers, they will use D drive as default drive. Some other computers E drive they may use as default drive, but most of the computers they will go for either C or D. Again most they can go for like C, but you are using like Windows 2003 server or something like that, you can go for like D. So what is default drive. You have to find out what is default drive. You have to find out again. Okay. Okay, once you find out default drive, then what you have to do, you have to create exact folder structure in this computer, how it looks like exactly. So framework is nothing but like, you may think it is tool or something like that, but framework is nothing but like a folder structure you will come up with. Okay, it's not like specific tool or some automated or something like that. Okay, you have to come up with. So different folder structures will be having. So those folder structure, I'm not sure this computer I have a framework or not. In this computer I'm sure I don't have. Whenever I connect another computer, I will show you framework for exactly how it look like. Otherwise I could have shown you sometime. Okay, if you haven't seen any framework, means I will show you whenever I connect another computer. So different folder structure it will be having. So exactly all those folder structure, like simple example I will tell you, all reusable actions you put in actions folder, all main scripts you will put in main scripts folder, all like functions will come up, right, like reading data from XLS and generating results in way of like summary kind of report and in detail kind of report. Okay, these functions where you will mention in libraries folder, test libraries folder, all framework supported functions like reading data from XLS. Okay, creating summary and in detail kind of reports. Meanwhile you have to send out an email. All this kind of functions you will put in like test libraries folder. Okay, then environment, which environment, automation main purpose is like it needs to be executed in multiple environments, right? So before executing, which environment you have to execute. So you want to execute SIT, means SIT kind of environment you will try to update. Okay, so like that environment one folder will be there. Under that some XML file you will be using. For that XML, which environment you are going to execute, that related properties you will try to update and you put for execution and go home. Okay, so that is environment. And you may be using shared object repository, right? You are implementing very good framework, means you will get a chance to use shared object repository. Okay, the shared object repository you can manage in shared object repository folder. Recovery scenarios, where you will place in recovery scenarios folder. Results, where it will get generated under results folder. Like that some folder structure you will try to keep managed for coming up with a framework. Okay, so exactly which kind of folder structure you have in your server, that kind of folder structure you have to create in copying folder, in copying computer, like another computer 1, computer 2, computer 3, you are copying, right? In all those computers exactly. And master driver, one more folder you come across like master driver in your framework. Master driver, that driver drives whole of your framework. We'll implement at that time, you'll get a clear picture. As of now you can remember like framework means some folder structure you will be having like this. Okay, exact folder structure you have to create in another computers, whatever the computers you want to execute. Okay, so then you have to copy all framework supported files from this computer to those computers. Once copy done, you have to initiate your execution. Once you copy all framework supported functions from server to clients, then what you have to do, you have to start initiating your execution. Once execution done, okay, you will make like some flag like execution execution flag, something like that, off or done or something like some flag you make. Whenever your execution done, what you have to do, again you have to fetch back results, your summary kind of course detail, which are the results is getting generating. Okay, all those results you fetch back from clients to your server, and whatever the folders you were created before starting execution, all those folders in client messages you have to delete. Okay, so all these kinds of operations how you can handle. So here WMI scripting and shell scripting, we were ADSS scripting we were discussing, right? So in performing these kinds of operations, so you may get a chance to go for like ADSA as well as WMI script. Okay, so this kind of framework you can come up with. So this kind of situation, your VB scripting really helpful for you. Okay, I believe you are understanding, at least very high level you are understanding, right? So like how VB scripting helpful for you in your framework implementation. Any questions? If you understand, that is a very good thing. If you don't understand very high level, so something very high level you'll try to remember. Once we start up with framework implementation, each and every feature we will be implementing. So at that time you will get very clear picture. Okay, clear, right? Okay, so any questions you have means you can ask me. Just any questions? No? Sorry? Not only Excel, any file format you can read. Text files you can read, XML files you can read. This environment you are saying, right? So environment you will come up with like XML format. So XML format is one for like in your computer Word, how you are sharing, how you are using. Okay, like that one XML file you can create an environment folder. From there, which environment you have to execute, those data you are reading. Not only Excel files, XML files you can read, HTML files you can generate, you can read, text files you can generate, INF files you can generate, whatever you manually in your computer, which are the operations you perform, each and everything you can go for like with the help of VB scripting. Okay. Even database connectivity also. During I told like database checkpoint, I will explain it during VB scripting, right? So even database connectivity also. Meanwhile, I could have told you like whole of your automation framework you can manage in quality center. You have to manage whole your framework quality center, and meanwhile you have to come up with like unattended execution. Again you have to go for like using VB scripting. Okay, so like this so many operations you can perform. It will be even very interesting. Okay, and remember one more thing, today 90% of the cases frameworks already developed. You may not get a chance to implement framework from scratch. I can assure you 90%, but you may get immediately your mind, then why I have to learn? You have to get job means you should learn. You should learn. Okay, until and unless you are getting assigning very freshly starting up project. Okay, freshly any project is getting up. So if you get assigned luckily for that kind of project, then you can get a chance to implement framework from scratch. Okay, but more than 90% I can say you will already so many frameworks were developed nowadays. Okay, the developed framework you will get a chance to use, but remember it doesn't mean you have to ignore. Okay, you want job means you should learn. These days if you go for interview, nobody is asking like tell me about yourself even. Okay, even QTP basics also nobody is asking. If you go for IBM, first they will give you paper and pen. Okay, if you don't carry pen even, they'll keep so many pens ready. Okay, so they'll give you pen and paper, come up with function for creating reading data from XLS, how to read data from specific Excel, how to create different sheets in your data table. Okay, like that they are coming up with these days. Okay, so situation got changed too much, IT industry. Okay, so once upon a time tester job is nothing but like very simple job, but as recession started second time around 2007 2008 got recession started, right? So recession was not completely over. One important thing is latest update from HP. They are going to fire around 30,000. Very recently, like around 1,000 people they got fired, but their count is like 30,000 people. Very soon they are getting fired from HP. Okay, so from this situation how bad you can understand. Okay, so Yasuna, all backgrounds. Okay, all. So like the situation is getting very bad. Once upon a time testing job means it will be like manual testing or something like that, but nowadays tester also developing. If you are getting job in QTP perspective, your job is little bit easy. Even VB skipping also you can learn very easily, even though you are from non-computers background. Still you can learn in your own or with little bit support, and you can reach it up. But Selenium these days most of the clients preferring to go for like Selenium, but Selenium means it's really hard. If you have Java programming language, JavaScripting pretty well, then only you can get a chance to go for like Selenium. Okay, but testing field who are coming, they will feel like they are technically not strong, they don't want to go for like coding side. That's why they are choosing like testing job and coming into testing industry. But these days testers also you have to survey means you should have development knowledge. It's mandatory. Getting their companies were making mandatory. Okay, so this is just for awareness purpose. It doesn't mean like I want to fear you or something like that. Okay, the thing is how is situation. If you know, you can plan accordingly. That's what my intention just. Okay, so plan accordingly. As soon as you get job, it's better. You are getting delay means you yourself creating problems. Simply I have to say. Okay, so like that if you go for like interview means these days directly they are getting up that kind of stuff. Even competition also getting more. Almost all people who are trying, they are learning either QTP or Selenium. Okay, almost all people. So how many people jobs they are not getting in such a huge manner, right? So that is also one more problem we are getting. Okay. Okay, so this is just for awareness purpose I'm saying. Okay, you don't want to fail, just plan it up accordingly. Just that's what my intention. Okay, so these are nothing but like VB scripting. Then before that you come across programming languages. Okay, so programming languages are nothing but like compiler based. Programming languages are nothing but like like C, C++, Java. These languages are like programming languages. These are compiler based. What is compiler? Best example I will tell you. You know English. Best example, Sonia Gandhi is coming to Bangalore for some political meeting, let us assume. Okay, Sonia Gandhi aware of like English, this public doesn't know English, right? So Sonia Gandhi is, while talking means one guy will be there who is aware of both like English and Kannada. Okay, so that guy once speech done by Sonia Gandhi, they will convert into Kannada and he'll speech back. Again public is saying something, at that time he will convert into English. Like that here I mean is like two people were there, one is English, one is Kannada, let us suppose. So both of them cannot interact. So one more guy who is aware of both languages should be having. That is nothing but like compiler. So compiler's job is nothing but this is the job. So you are aware of English. Computer doesn't understand English, but you don't think like whatever you are seeing in your screen that is just for UI. Okay, but internally computer cannot understand English. It will understand only binary machine language. Machine language contains only zeros and ones. Okay, that one you can consider as bits, binary digits. Okay, bits. So whatever you are typing, that one internally one compiler will be there in C or C++. Whatever the code you are coming up with, that code while storing internally in your hard disk and memory, it will convert into machine language and get stored. This job who will do is like compiler. Again, while displaying in your screen, that machine language to programming language, it will convert and it will give you. Okay, so compiler converts your programming language like C language to machine language like zeros and ones, and zeros and ones back to your programming language like high level language like your C or C++. Okay, that is what compiler. This one you can call either compilers or interpreters. This one you can call it like compilers or interpreters. I am telling very high level. Okay, just for awareness purpose. Okay, so programming languages uses compilers. Then one more I said like interpreter. What is the difference between compiler and interpreter? Compiler compiles whole program at a time. Your program is having like 100 lines. 100 lines of code at a time, it will convert and stores into your memory. That is the purpose of compiler. Okay, so programming languages uses compilers. Then compile, you have to execute that program is at least once you should get compile. Compilation is mandatory. During compilation, what it will do is like computer is machine, right? So what are the instructions you are passing? Those instructions in specific syntax you have to pass. If syntax is wrong, in C language each and every line should end with like semicolon. You missed out semicolon, you should throw error. So why you want to compile is like you have to find out you have to resolve two types of issues like syntactic errors and logical errors. So you should compile. Okay. Okay, so it's little bit hard to use hard to come up with code in any of the programming language. So if you are good in programming, okay, if you are technically strong, if you know logic very well, then only you'll feel easy to come up with code. It's a little bit hard means if you are not good in technical, then it's very hard to come up with like code, even it is time consuming. So programming languages mostly support for rich support for user interface. UI is nothing but in your front end, in your monitor, whatever you are saying, that is nothing but like UI. Both of us want to communicate one language you want, right? Like English, you and computer have to communicate, one interface required, right? So that is nothing but like user interface. Okay, so graphics also you can design very easily with the help of programming language. Okay. So these are the different programming languages you come across, like the so many are there. Okay, C, C++, Java, Visual Basic, COBOL, Basic, like the so many programming languages are there. Okay, but one programming language you are aware of means any of the programming language you can get into very easily. Okay. So these are nothing but like programming languages. The scripting languages, interpreter based. Okay, so interpreter is nothing but like line by line it will convert, line by line it will convert. You are having 100 lines means 100 lines at a time, it won't compile, it won't convert, I mean. Okay, so what it will do is first line once, second line once, second line, then third line, then like that it will convert. So that is nothing but like interpreter based. So scripting languages uses interpreter. Okay. And no need to compile. Once you come up with code directly, you can use it up. Let us suppose in programming language you are having 100 lines of code, 50th line having some error, some syntactic error, something like that. 50th line you have some error, still you cannot execute in where in programming language. But in scripting language, not only one error, how many errors are there in your program, you can still execute. Okay, so let us suppose your code is having like 100 lines, fifth line is having some error, but still you can execute still fourth line, 4 lines get executed, at fifth line it will throw you error, is unable to execute or something like that. Okay, So that is the advantage of like scripting language. Even anybody can learn very easily. As I said, like you want to get computer name. What is the space in a specific computer? So get space, get computer name, get operating system, get operating system service pack. Like that, very simple commands you can get, and that command itself it will tell you like what exactly that command will be performing. Okay, so it's very easy to learn any of the scripting language. And in scripting language you come across like two mostly widely using, those are nothing but like VB scripting and Java scripting. VB scripting anybody can learn very easily, but it's not like Java scripting. Okay, so most of the viruses there people were coming up, right? So for that one VB script only they will use. Why means VB script is that much easily. Each and everything, if you go for like Microsoft website, they are providing code, source code. Even the source code once you see, you can understand very easily. That's the reason most of the companies like they're seeking like security kind of websites. Best example, banking applications. Banking applications, they don't prefer to go for VB scripting. Why means because of security reasons. Okay, so hackers, viruses, who all are coming up with that is with the help of VB scripting only. Okay, meanwhile banking applications, security plays major role, right? So there they cannot go for like VB scripting. This is the reason. Okay, but Java scripting is not that much easy to learn. Okay, so you are technically strong, then only you can come up with like Java scripting or something like that. Okay, that's why banking applications mostly they prefer to go for like JavaScript because of security reasons. Okay, that much easy is your VB scripting. Okay, run inside any another program. And as I said, right, for VB scripting you don't want to install any other program, you can just use your notepad, very easy to use. Okay, development time it greatly reduces. Okay, limited support for user interface, limited or no support for graphic design. Okay, so like that VB script, JavaScript, Perl, Shell, Ruby, Python, PHP, like the so many scripting languages you come across. Okay, so but in our course schedule we can go for like VB scripting only. Okay, we'll use VB scripting as we proceed with our classes. We will learn each and everything step by step. We will go. Okay, so any questions? Okay, no questions. Okay, then that's fine. Thanks for your time. Tomorrow same time we can meet up. Okay. Okay, then fine. I'm ending the session. Fine. Bye. Oh, is it?